All right, what's happening? I know that I scheduled it all wrong because I just did, so this may not get out to anybody, and that's okay. We'll see what happens over the next few minutes. It has been nonstop for me for the last 2 days. I just did a video on Teddy Bridgewater, and that's really why I wanted to get in here. I didn't get one done on Rock Ya Sin yet, but my goodness, Teddy B, I think Eric spoke about it earlier. If I'm not mistaken, that he was interested in Teddy B, or someone said during the live stream that they are interested in Teddy B, and I don't remember what my response was, but my overall response is this. What a perfect opportunity. An absolute perfect opportunity for the Lions to have a veteran quarterback, and a coach on the sidelines. It's extremely important. It's what I've been saying this whole time, that it has to happen. We can't put all the chips in a rookie's basket and expect for the season to go well. They're learning a new scheme. they're blending a scheme, and you've got a bunch of new players coming in. Thankfully, the offense is fairly well put together. The playmakers, they're all going to be learning at the same time, but they're pretty well developed. The offensive line is going to be all new, pretty much besides Penei Sewell and Tate Ratledge and Christian Mahogany. But you've got a lot of new pieces that are coming into there, or coming into the offense. Teddy Bridgewater, like I said a few moments ago in my video, he's not the quarterback that we want for player performance. Performance-wise, I don't think you're going to get it out of Teddy B. I think he's a glorified coach at this point. I think that he's a trusted confidant. I think he's someone that is well respected for his leadership, his calm demeanor, and how he treats the people around him. I mean, the things that he's done in Florida is awe-inspiring, and that's why I labeled tonight's live the Teddy Bridgewater Act, because it's something that he did, and it's something that he brought to the state of Florida. I'm not confident in Teddy B backing up Jared Goff if Jared Goff goes down. If he goes down, you're gonna probably mail it in anyway. However, Teddy B still has a pretty decent arm. I've never liked his hand size, but I do like him as a coach. I wish someday he would be a coach, on the sidelines in Detroit. I know he's denied ever wanting to do that, primarily because he loves his sleep more than the schedule that he'd have to work. But I think as a positional coach, quarterback's coach, I don't think he would have that grueling of a schedule, that the head coach has and the coordinators have. But anyway, I think it's a great opportunity for the Lions to at least go into the season knowing that they have a trusted veteran that is going to give them a great opportunity at success learning a new scheme. So good job, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, bringing this guy back. We still need someone that can operate the offense and someone for the future. And I don't know why the Lions have had two major problems since Brad and Dan have been in charge. It was kicker. We never had a damn kicker. And it was a rotating door. I think we had like 6 or 7 in 2023. Memory's a little gray, so maybe it was more, maybe it was less. It was a lot. And now it's rotating quarterbacks in. I mean, we're getting guys that are retired and unretired and then tired and then unretired. Oh no. Uh-oh. We got some breaking news. I thought that was a fake Schefter or Ian Rappaport trade announcement. Oh my. Holy shit. The Ravens just backed out of, this is the first time I've ever heard of this. Is this legit? Can someone verify this? That the Maxx Crosby deal has just been ripped up? That it's done? Tell me this is not a joke on the eve. Oh my God, Mike Garafolo just put it out. Oh my goodness. Well, breaking news. Maxx Crosby is now available. Baltimore Ravens have backed out of the trade, and the Raiders apparently are the ones putting it on the Ravens, saying that they, blew it up. Obviously, it's their fault. Let's see what's on Tom P's Twitter. Same thing. How about Adam Schefter's Twitter? Same thing. Golly. This is huge. All right, so sorry, Teddy. I didn't get to finish my my eulogy for you there, buddy. I'm glad he's back. We'll just say it that way. I'm glad he's back. I think it's going to help, and I think the Lions still have a lot of work to do. Rock Ya Sin. Since I didn't do a video on Rock Ya Sin yet, this was one that we had to have back. I'm going to keep the Cambridge close because we just went through all this earlier. Now, I thought $2 million on the very low end for Rock Ya-Sin would be good. Lions apparently have doubled that up, and they've given him $4 million. So either way, they wanted him back. They paid for it. I think it's a good amount of money. I don't think they overspent, and I'm extremely excited that Rock Ya-Sin is back because he can play as a number one no matter what Terry and Arnold does or doesn't do. I think we're good with having Rock Ya-Sin back, and he proved to be very durable last year. Okay, so how much? I'm gonna switch to Maxx Crosby now. How much of the Maxx Crosby deal that just got blown apart? How many teams just screwed themselves? Think about that. Did the Ravens just say, you know what, we're going to do it? And then nobody's going to be able to trade for Maxx because they just went all in on spending all this money in free agency. And now they don't have the capital, more than likely, the bigger teams that spent a load of money. And then you look at the Raiders. The Raiders just went all in on all these players, spending all this money thinking that they're about to get 2 first-round picks. I've never seen this happen before. I've never seen this happen before. I don't know why they would blow it up. I mean, Maxx, all he had to do is pass the physical, right? But he's coming off a major injury, so, well, not really major, but, surgery is surgery. You kind of have to understand that Maxx has issues until he's healed. And I don't know that that's the issue. Damn it, man. This means tomorrow I'm going to have to deal with all of these Lions fans thinking we're trading for Maxx Crosby and yada, yada, yada. But, there is that one publication that said that we are already doing it. So now that the Ravens are out, that means that the Lions are number one and they're back in? Because Terry and Arnold's fine, right? That means we're back on the clock. It's my understanding. It would totally ruin our squad, but if Brad, honestly, I'll say this: if Brad Holmes honestly did the deal, I would trust in Brad Holmes. I would, but if I understand the way that he does business, I don't think he's going to make that mistake. I really don't. Look how hard it is for us just to get some free agents signed now. What do you think we would do next year? How would we sign anybody? We don't even have 2 coins to rub together right now, let alone $33 million a year. Unless you traded a significant asset like an Ali McNeil or a Jamison Williams, then you're playing ball. That could happen. I'm not saying it could. I'm saying that would have to happen. Essentially, if you traded JMO plus a first round pick and probably a 4th, you could probably get the deal done. If you traded Ali McNeil in a 4th and a first round pick, you could probably get the deal done. Especially now that the Raiders just got pooped on, you might get away with this deal for a little bit less. So if there's a way to get it done now that makes sense, if the Lions jumped on the phone right now and said, hey, their loss, we'll give you a 1st and a 3rd right now, and we'll sign the deal tomorrow, then I'd be okay with it. But if it's 2 firsts, no way. If it's a 1st and a 3rd, they'll figure out the money somehow. We're going to lose some players, but we'll figure out the money. Yeah, John, it may be the minimum deal, but the Raiders, you got to think about what they just did. Look at all the money that they just went and spent. They just spent $27 million on Linderbaum, and they're now having to reallocate Maxx Crosby's deal. And oh my God, I didn't even think about this. Holy cow. It's Linderbaum. The Ravens are pissed. It's Linderbaum. That's what it is. They stole Linderbaum from him, and they're like, nope, forget it. Here's Max back. Oh, my. Oh, my. I wonder if there's going to be any arbitration or lawsuits. I've honestly never seen anything like this happen before in all my years of watching football. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. I'm not saying a deal hasn't gone through, because that's happened for sure. But not a deal where something like this went down and now it didn't go down. That I've never seen. Yeah, there you go. That's why nothing's official until 4 o'clock tomorrow. There you go. Good night, man. So I don't know if you heard it, Eric, but I was just saying it could be the Linderbaum deal. You know, them snaking Linderbaum might have just pissed him off enough to say, you guys just spent all that money, $298 million on like 6 players, and one of them happened to be our center that we were trying to keep. And they lost their center, and they were about to give away 2 first-round picks. Yeah, they probably thought twice. And they were probably pissed. See, I don't think it could be anything with the injury, John. And the reason why, and I don't expect Max to pass his physical either, Robbie. He's just got done with surgery 2 months ago. He's not supposed to pass a physical. That's not supposed to happen. So it's expected that Max is going through rehab. You're not expected to pass a physical. There's no way. He's not even out of the woods yet. So they have to know that if you're trading, this is exactly why I said that if someone really wanted to trade for Maxx Crosby, it would be closer to the draft. Because then he would be out of the woods and his rehab would be done, and he should be pretty close to full health. You know, that type of surgery is measured in months, not weeks. And that's at least a 3-4 month deal. And he had surgery in January. We're just in March. He's barely, 8 weeks out, if that? So, yeah, there's no way he's going to pass a physical. He just had his knee sliced open, arthroscopically, but you get the point. So I don't think that that's an excuse either. Yeah, I'm sure that's what they're going to say. I mean, that's what they say about everybody. Failed physical. I mean, Graham Glasgow had a failed physical. I don't think he took one. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are not supposed to be in shape in March. They're not playing. You know, that's what training camp's for. That's what OTAs are for. Yeah, and I don't understand that either. So I don't know if you can have physicals. I'd be interested to see who said that. Because as of right now, Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, Mike Garafolo, Adam Schefter, none of them have reported anything about a failed physical. All it says is they backed out of the trade. So what Ian Rappaport just put out says it is a medical reason. Per Garofolo, trades are contingent upon a physical, but that doesn't say he failed one. Doesn't even say he took one. Could there be another medical reason? Did they find something in the MRIs? Yeah, and the Ravens said that they're not going to have any. The Raiders said they're not going to have any further comment. Adam Schefter said it's not just players that can change their minds, teams can too, but clearly there's a reason, and Maxx Crosby still had to take a pass, or had to take and pass a physical coming off a significant knee injury. So that's probably, I mean, that could be the deal, right? I mean, it's interesting that they'd put that much value into a physical for Maxx Crosby when he's not even 8 weeks out. It's crazy. And I don't think that this has anything to do with the Lions either. I'm sure there's an article that's being cooked up right now that says the Lions called the Ravens, told them to blow up the deal because the Lions wanted to offer 2 first-round picks and Terry and Arnold. Right? That's probably being cooked up right now. Can't wait to see it. Can't wait. All right, let me slim this down. Let me get back into Rocky Scene because I didn't really talk about Rocky Scene. $4 million deal right on the nose is what's being reported for Rocky Scene, a 1-year deal. Lions also brought back Malcolm Rodriguez today. So there's 2 players that I thought would come back today, Malcolm and Rock. Now, Rock is in last season. I want to say at one point through the season, it might have been towards the end, the Lions had like 4 or 5 DBs that were ranked in the top 30. It might have been 3 or 4 DBs ranked in the top 30, which doesn't seem accurate, but they were playing pretty good. Let me bring up his PFF scores. Again, we don't really care too much about PFF, but let's just bring it up. Kind of paints a picture, right? It just paints a picture. Oh, I'm in the wrong screen. There we go. 64.7 overall grade last year, ranked 50th out of 114 corners. And his coverage grade was 41st out of 114. So when you think about how many corners are on the field, there are 64. And that means that he was in the, the bottom third of those. No, let me say that again. He was in the middle. Yeah, right in the middle bottom third. He was in the bottom third of corners last season. Run defense grade was not great. Math isn't math, man. I've been talking too much for 2 days. No interceptions last year. He's not really known as a big-time ball hawk anyway. I mean, if we go through all of his years, look, 24, 23, 22, no interceptions. 21, no interceptions. 2020, 1 interception. 2019, 1 interception. He's not known for the interceptions. So I'm not going to put that on him. Like all of a sudden he has to come to Detroit and he has to get interceptions. It would be nice, but that's not what he does. He's a mirror match, and he likes to stay in phase and break up at the catch point. That's what Rocky Sin does. He doesn't sell out to go out and get interceptions. He wants to shut you down physically and mentally. And I think he's always done a good job with that. 26 receptions last year allowed. The big numbers right here for me. The 76.6. I don't know why it's not highlighting, but right down here in the middle, right here, my cursor is, if you can see it. 76.6 passer rating allowed. That is a damn good number. Damn good number. Given the fact that he was playing when we didn't have a lot on the field and we didn't have a lot going on anywhere. We had a lot of injuries. And so you're kind of out there as, on a solo mission. He played really good football for us last year. This is a really good pickup for the Lions. 5 pass breakups, 3 total pressures. He played a rock solid season, man. Pun intended. Rock solid season for him last year. Glad to see him back. Let's take a look at Rodriguez. Lions love injured players. All 2026 draft choices for Maxx. Here you go. Yeah, athleticism and versatility. There you go, man. That's Rocky Scene in a nutshell. All right. Last year, look, he did not have a good season at all. Overall grade was terrible. Coverage grade was terrible. I mean, he ranked 0th. 0th. Absolute bottom. Run defense grade, 0th. Pass rush grade, 0th. How does that even happen? I've never seen that before where a linebacker ranked 0th in all 4 categories, but I have an idea as to why. And it's going to be right here. He played a total of 72 snaps. Okay, so he didn't meet the minimum threshold, and I believe it's a minimum of 250 to be graded by PFF. So his grades still were terrible. I mean, look at those grades. They're all red. It looks like a damn Christmas tree. It's all red. Red and orange. There's a couple of greens sprinkled in. That is not a good year. But that is not Malcolm Rodriguez. You go back and look what he did in 2024, 318 snaps. That was the second most he's ever played. He was injured in 23. His rookie year, he played extremely well. But his numbers are really starting to get good in 24. Now, he's not used heavily in the pass rush. Those numbers have stayed pretty consistent, mid to upper 50s. His coverage has been lacking, and that's why I would never say that he's going to be a will linebacker for us, because his coverage sucks, and that would just be a giant mistake. But if you look at 2024, when he was healthy and he was playing 76 in tackling, 87 in run defense, 74 overall, I mean, those are the numbers that we need out of him this year. But what he's going to end up being for us, he's going to be a primary special teams guy, and he's going to be your 6th or 5th, linebacker. I got the yawns, man. I'm tired. So that's who he is. That's who he is for us. And, let's not even consider the fact, or forget to consider the fact, that he may not even make the final 53. He's going to be on an extremely small contract. He's going to be on an extremely small contract. Today was a good day, says the Wall Street Wizard. Famous words of Ice Cube. I need some Snickers, man. I haven't eaten. Dog's looking at me like, dude, you need to give me some of that. Not happening. Yeah, so is Crosby damaged? He could be. Look, I think all this is, I mean, you guys know how it is. You have to. You've all bought something big in your life. Now, this is huge, but you've all bought something big in your life, and you've gone home, and you've thought about it, and you're like, should I have done that? Or should I do that? Like buying a house, before you go sign on the dotted line, you're questioning everything. Imagine adding a couple of zeros to that number. 3 or 4. You know what I mean? Like that's big money. and you're giving up all those draft picks. They either had heartburn over it, or maybe he just truly didn't pass their physical. But I'm going to call bullshit, because if they're hoping that Maxx is going to pass the physical this early after surgery, then they were never serious anyway. I think that they just pulled the ultimate Houdini, man. Honestly, I think they pulled the ultimate Houdini. Wonder if anybody's on talking about it. Oh, they are. Here they are. Let me unmute them.
Decision that the team makes about what risk they are willing to assume. In other words, if the Baltimore Ravens paid $1 million and no draft picks for Maxx Crosby, they would probably decide that the risk of his knee, which is not fully healed from a meniscus repair, they would probably assume that that risk is worth it. If they want to pay Maxx Crosby his entire salary and 2 first-round picks, they might decide that the knee, meniscus repair, not fully back, that it is not worth the risk. That is clearly what the decision has that the Baltimore Ravens have made. It is not unprecedented. It is incredibly, incredibly rare. And for Crosby, who is so happy to be a Raven, who is so out on the Las Vegas Raiders, this is a absolutely dramatic outcome. And really, we don't know right now whether or not Crosby is going to remain a member of the Raiders going forward.
Wow. That's insane. That is insane. But Ian just clarified it. It's not unprecedented. We'd have to find one, because I don't know of any deals like that. But it is extremely rare. Give me 30 seconds here. My dog's telling me he's got to go out and do some business. Maybe he's going to go call Maxx for us. Be right back.
Throwing middle, caught inside the 5. Jahmyr Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 14 yards on the strike. Goff to Gibbs. You can't cover that man one-on-one. You just can't do it.
Nice job.
Jared takes the snap, back looking, throwing middle. Got Amon-Ra inside the 2, to the 1, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Amon-Ra, St. Brown.
Nice job.
Mariota's got it back. Pressure comes. He's hit. Slips out of it. Rolling to his right. Now he's going down. Brian Branch got him. Sack for the Lions. Snap taken by Mariota. Wants to throw it. Gonna get hit. Gonna get sacked.
Yes,
Taken down. Brian Branch got him second time today.
Nice job.
Hands it to Gibbs, running right, runs through a tackle, gets down to the 10, Gibbs to the 5, still fighting, down to the 2, down to the 1, to the end zone! Yes. Touchdown, Detroit Lions! He did not quit!
Okay, go lay down. Go lay down, bud.
Nice job.
Good boy. Right, we're back.
Throw again, does, middle, J-Mo, angling to the end zone, touchdown Detroit!
So that's just absolutely nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. Think about Maxx for a moment. Not to say that he would do this, but he threw a giant party. I want to say the night that this was announced. It was like his 6th year of sobriety, and he had, I think, Shabuzi or something like that at his house or wherever they were. And they had this massive party for him. I mean, could you imagine if he had any bad blood with anybody? You know, if he said anything to anyone. He's on his way out. And I wouldn't think Maxx would do anything like that, but you know people do. People do it all the time. And I would never peg Maxx for that kind of an individual because I think he's just a straight up dude, man. I think he's all about business and he's all about doing the right thing. But just imagine how he feels. Like he's ready to get out. He's ready to, he's packing. He's probably done all this stuff, getting ready to roll. And then this happens. It's just nuts. It is nuts. Yeah, I do need all 22. You're right. Holy cow. Holy cow. Let me reach out to him real quick. Text him. All right, let's run through the day, man. That's what we're doing right now. We're going to run through the day. Enough talk. Let me get through this real quick. We're going to break it down. We're going to see who spent what today. I see you guys are saying the Bears spent a lot of money today. Put it in the chat, man. What did they do? Honestly, I didn't pay attention to what the Bears did today. I took my break, had my lunch, finally. Did a couple of other things, took care of some business, and then this stuff started going down. Okay, well, they don't have it broken down by date. Why is that? Son of a gun. Well, you know who's still a free agent? That would be Trey Hendrickson. I mean, the Ravens, if they really wanted an edge, they could go out and sign Trey for $30 million. Apparently, he wants north of 30, and that's why he's not getting moved. So, whatever that number is, it's probably 35, probably in that range. It's still less than Maxx. It's still a really good deal. Yeah, he may not be as dominant as Maxx Crosby, but Trey Hendrickson's still a hell of a football player, man, and he doesn't come with all the injury either. Yeah, sacks, man, we just talked about it for like 20 minutes or so. Maybe 30. I'm just trying to find the transactions of today. All right, here we go. Oh my God, this can't be right. This can't be right. 355 transactions. This can't be right. Oh, the wrong date in here. My God. I'm like, there's no way there's 355 transactions today. That'd be crazy. All right, I guess I'm not going to be able to get this parsed by date. Whatever. All right, CBS Sports says Arizona Cardinals, so far they have guard Isaac Sumelo, running back Tyler Algier. Roy Lopez went back home. Wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, quarterback Gardner Minshew, offensive lineman Matt Pryor. They did retain Blake Gilligan, defensive lineman LG Collier, and kicker Chad Ryland. Atlanta Falcons, they had signed wide receiver Jahan Dotson, kicker Nick Folk, punter Jake Bailey, tight end Austin Hooper, edge Cameron Thomas, quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. What a disaster over there in Atlanta. Wide receiver Olamide Zacchaeus, linebacker Christian Harris, and they retained Kyle Pitts on a $15.045 million guarantee on the franchise tag. Baltimore Ravens, they're the most hated team in the NFL right now. They only have offensive guard John Simpson and quarterback Tyler Huntley. They've done nothing. They've done absolutely nothing. So you guys are worried about the Lions. A lot of people are worried about the Lions doing nothing or very little. How about the Ravens? They've done nothing. Literally, they brought one guy in. The Bills, they traded for wide receiver DJ Moore, big move to get everything kick-started. They also signed cornerback D. Alford and quarterback Kyle Allen. They retained Connor McGovern, tight end Dawson Knox, and punter Mitch Nowski. J-Rod, what's your question, man? What do you mean, where is Max? Didn't we just go through all this? Carolina Panthers, they signed edge Jalon Phillips, linebacker Devin Lloyd, quarterback Kenny Pickett, center Luke Fortner. Man, that Jalon contract is massive. 4 years, $120 million. It's probably what Trey Hendrickson's looking to get. They did retain edge LeBrian Ray, linebacker Isaiah Simmons, wide receiver David Moore, cornerback Robert Rochelle, and cornerback Akalib Evans. Chicago Bears, they spent some money too, but only 3 years for $40 million on safety Kobe Bryant. That move pisses me off. Like, that is a damn good number for Kobe Bryant. That is a steal for Kobe Bryant. Like, what was Brad thinking with that one? You couldn't come up with $40 million over 3 years to bring in Kobe Bryant? I swear to goodness, if he trots Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch out there this year and a bunch of no-names, then we're screwed. Because Branch ain't coming back till October, and Kirby, who the hell knows? That would have been my number one signing right there. Kobe Bryant. Did you guys watch him in the Super Bowl? Dude's phenomenal. Now, Brad can make it up by signing Jalen Hawkins. Linebacker Devin Bush, defensive tackle Neville Gallimore, wide receiver Khalif Raymond. Pace, dude. $5.1 million, man. He got a spot on market value today. Defensive back Cam Lewis, edge Kentavarius Street, terms not disclosed yet. So I don't know what you mean by the Bears spending a bunch of money. But the question is, where? I don't see a bunch of money spent. They barely got $100 million in. Not even that. 87 plus whatever the last two are. They also traded for Garrett Bradbury. Now that one, I don't know the terms of that deal, so that'll push him over $100 million. I don't think he was extremely expensive, though. They also retained Braxton Jones, 1 year, $5 million deal. Linebacker DeMarco Jackson. Quarterback Case Keenum. Edge Daniel Hardy. They're doing pretty well, man. They've got several guys signed. Cincinnati Bengals, they haven't done anything either, but they did bring in Boye Mafe and then safety Brian Cook, another safety that I liked in Brian Cook. Look, that money was good for me. I know it's not good for Brad, but it's better than what you gave Kirby. It's way better than what you gave Kirby. You could have signed Cook or Bryant. I'm not going to let this one go. And you could have cut Kirby and pretty much saved almost that amount of money per year. This year. Next year, you would have saved all of it. Offensive guard Dalton Risner. Cleveland Browns, they signed offensive guard Zion Johnson. Center Elgden Jenkins. Linebacker Quincy Williams. They traded for Titus Howard and retained Ronnie Hickman and Tevin Jenkins. Dallas Cowboys. Safety Jalen Thompson. Safety PJ Locke and defensive tackle Otito Ogbonia. They also traded for Rashawn Gary and retained Pickens, Aubrey, Williams, Butler, and Stewart. Cowboys doing pretty good so far. I got to sound like a mouse if you listen to me on 2 times. There's really nothing you're going to miss, Attila. All we talked about was Crosby for a little bit. Denver Broncos, they signed and retained J.K. Dobbins. They haven't done anything in free agency. Justin Stranad, Adam Trotman, Alex Singleton, and Sam Ellinger. They've made 0 free agency signings. Detroit Lions, hey, we're starting to look a little busy. Cade Mays brought him in for 3 on 25. Cornerback Rock Ya-Sin. Teddy Bridgewater, Isaiah Pacheco, offensive tackle Larry Borum, traded for Juice Scruggs, and so far we've retained Malcolm Rodriguez. So now that you see our list compared to everybody else's, it doesn't look so bad, does it? You know, we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves. And those are the 7 moves that we brought in. That doesn't include cutting, Decker. That doesn't include cutting Graham. It doesn't include trading Montgomery. So there's 10 moves that we've made this week alone, which is pretty solid. So it's a great start. And I'm expecting at least one more thing potentially going to happen yet tonight. We're after 8 o'clock. There's usually something that pops up right around this time. Golly, I still can't believe this Maxx Crosby thing. It's just nutty. Absolutely nutty. Green Bay Packers, cornerback Benjamin St. Juste, wide receiver returner Sky Moore. Man, that's a hell of a pickup right there. We were able to contain Sky Moore fairly well, but that's a hell of a pickup for the Packers. But they also lost Romeo Doubs and Jalen Naylor. They retained Sean Ryan, Chris Brooks, Darian Kennard, Nick Nyman, and Christian Welch. Houston Texans, they brought in another safety off the market, Reed Blankenship. Hell of a good deal. 3 years, under $25 million. They also signed Braden Smith, edge Dominique Robinson, and linebacker Jake Hummel. They traded for our former guy, David Montgomery, and a punter, Kai Kroger. They've also retained edge Daniil Hunter. I can't believe that they gave him a $40 million extension for 1 season. It's just nutty. Offensive guard Ed Ingram, Kaimi Fairbarn, Dalton Schultz, defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, offensive tackle Trent Brown, defensive tackle Naquan Jones, and safety MJ Stewart. I'm telling you right now, the Texans are in it to win it. They are in it to win it. They are going to be there at the end of this season. Where did I put them? Where did I put them postseason? Put them at the top. At the end of the season, I did my ranking for the new season. I got the Texans at the top. I'm sticking with it. It's kind of funny that I put them at the top. David Montgomery is there. They're going to be fighting and clawing till the end. Colts, they haven't really done anything, man. They brought in Arden Key. They retained a couple of guys. Alec Pierce, they gave a massive deal to. And they also applied the transition tag to Daniel Jones and then brought in retained Blake Grupp. Jags, they signed nobody, but they did retain Monteric Brown, linebacker Dennis Gardeck, tight end Quinton Morris. Chiefs, and they got a banger with Kenneth Walker, safety Alohi Gilman, defensive tackle, fullback Kyrus Tonga. They also retained Travis Kelce for 1 more year and Tyquan Thornton. Raiders, well, they're up Schitt's Creek without a paddle right now and not 2 first-round picks. Quarterback Teron Johnson was traded for. They also signed Tyler Linderbaum to a massive deal. Edge Kwity Paye, linebacker Quay Walker, linebacker Nakobe Dean, wide receiver Jalen Naylor, and kicker Matt Gay. You know what would be nuts? Like, what if, and I don't think the Raiders would ever do this, but what if the Raiders, like I said earlier, signing Tyler Linderbaum was contingent upon them getting those first-round picks to get some young, inexpensive, really good draft picks to set up their future? What if they just say, we're just going to rip up that contract. We're not going to do that one. We're going to change our mind. What if they did that to Tyler Linderbaum? No player would ever want to go sign with them ever again. You know what I'm saying? Like that would just be, that'd just be craziness. They were going back to it. Raiders. They've done a lot, man. They've done a lot. They retained Eric Stokes, Malcolm Kuntz, Thomas Booker, Jordan Meredith, Will Putnam, and Charles Snowden, and safety Tristan McCollum. They got a good roster going, man. They really do. I think the Raiders are going to be a worst to first team this year. I don't know if they're going to win their division. Where did I put them? Third. I'll put them third behind the Chargers and the Chiefs. I think I'll win a little light. I think they'll get up in there in that second place. And they'll be fighting the Chiefs or the Chargers for first. All right, we got the Chargers up next. They got a great deal on Tyler Biadasz, tight end Charlie Kohler, offensive guard Cole Strange, fullback Alec Ingold. Hold on. No, he didn't get back to me yet. He must be pissed. They also retained Tyre Tart, edge Khalil Mack, offensive tackle Trevor Penning, running back Kamani Vidal, running back Jarrett Patterson. I've never heard of either of their names. Safety Kendall Williamson. Rams traded. They traded for cornerback Trent McDuffie. 4-year, $124 million deal. Just a crazy deal. They also signed cornerback Jalen Watson and long snapper Joe Cordona. Retains Cameron Curl and Tyler Higbee. They got a good roster going too. Not a lot of moves, but smart moves. Dolphins, they're a mess. They brought in quarterback Malik Willis. Look, I think he did great as a backup. Going back to a starting position right now. We'll see how it goes. You know what the guy said the other day? He's 2-2, right? Remember that guy the other day that we watched? Where is that guy? Where is that dude? I think I still got him. I think I still have him. Oh, yeah. This guy.
I believe the Dolphins signed Malik Willis.
So they got rid of Tua, and they're bringing in Tua 2. The sequel. So they got rid of Tua, and they're bringing in Tua 2. The sequel.
Oh, my God.
I believe the Dolphins signed Malik Willis.
So they got rid of Tua, and they're bringing in Tua 2. The sequel. Tua 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo. That one got me, man, the other day. I was on the floor.
When they get their number one pick, they give them draft picks for a guy who sucks. He's 2-2. He's the same quarterback.
That guy's hurt, man.
Could have given Quinn Ewers a shot. But nope. Doing the same mistake again. God damn it.
Oh, I love it. And I love the shark tooth when he puts this big old shark tooth in his mouth. Man, that dude deserves an Oscar. What an award-winning performance right there. This is just absolutely incredible. All right, so let me respond to that most recent statement in the chat. Technically, Jack Patelesky, yes. Technically, the Ravens' first-round picks were only better by 3 spots. 14, 17. That's really not a big difference in the grand scheme of trading. What is next year's first-round pick? And where do you believe that team is going to be? And so if I'm the Raiders and I'm giving up, Maxx Crosby for a second first-round pick in 2027, I'm already thinking that the Ravens are a good team. They're a playoff team, and now they have Maxx Crosby. Well, they should be a divisional or a championship team. So that pick is going to be 28, 29, 27. And that's where the Lions could be either way. We could be back at 17. We could be at 32 or anywhere in between. So only 3 picks difference is not enough to turn down an offer from the Lions. It's not enough. So I would say that I would be less worried about that. If the Lions really wanted to get a deal done, and if they actually offered something, then that would have been plenty. Give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Come on.
Throwing middle, caught inside the 5. Jahmyr Gibbs to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. 14 yards on the strike. Goff to Gibbs. You can't cover that man one-on-one. You just can't do it.
Nice job.
Jared takes the snap back, looking, throwing middle. Got Amon-Ra inside the 2, to the 1, to the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra, St. Brown. Amon-Ra, St. Brown.
Nice job.
Mariota's got it back. Pressure comes. He's hit. Slips out of it. Rolling to his right. Now he's going down. Brian Branch got him. Sack for the Lions. Snap taken by Mariota. Wants to throw it. Gonna get hit. Gonna get sacked.
Yes,
Take it down. Brian Branch got him second time today.
Nice job.
Pressured by Hutchinson. He goes down again.
All right, we back. Let's get through the rest of this list. All right, so to wrap up the Dolphins, tight end Greg Dulcich, kicker Zane Gonzalez. Minnesota Vikings, they signed cornerback James Pierre, retained linebacker Eric Wilson, long snapper Andrew DePaula, defensive lineman Jalen Redmond, linebacker Ivan Pace. That's a big one right there. That's huge. But that is a right of first refusal tender. So that means if another team offers him, then the Vikings have the opportunity to match. And I'm telling you right now, if I'm the Lions, I'm going after Pace. Like, that dude, he's insanely good. Linebacker Bo Richard, running back Xavier Scott. I'm curious what Pace market value would be. Now, he optimally plays out of that 3-3-5 structure. I think that's what the Vikings ran a lot last year, was that 3-3-5. But they got that weird defense that they run. You can really never tell what the hell they're doing. They don't have. It just doesn't make any sense. So they've got a first right of refusal. They have a first right of refusal tender on them. And next year he's a UFA. Why am I not understanding this on Spotrac? Why am I not getting this? Somebody smarter than me, please speak up. Interesting. Let me look it up. Okay, according to Vikings, the move means that the Pace most likely will remain in Minnesota for his fourth NFL season in 26, as the 25-year-old linebacker started 6 of 17 games last year, recorded 62 tackles and a sack. Another team could make an offer, but Minnesota will have the right to match. He was a UDFA. Okay. I forgot. Damn, he was a UDFA, man, and he's played that well. What is he worth, right? So what is a first right of refusal? What's the minimum tender? Okay, so the minimum tender amount for an RFA is 3.52. I think that's what we just saw in his contract. Yep, 3.52. Okay. And so that means the Lions just need to offer more than that. That's it. That's all they got to do is offer more than that. How much more than that? I don't know about you, but I'd be going hard after that one. We need a linebacker. Let's take a look at his PFF real quick. I wonder what his coverage grade is like. Because he's more of like a run stuffer, pass rusher, more of that 3-4 outside linebacker. But if he's got decent... Oh, yeah, his coverage sucks. And last year was a bad year for him, too. Let's go. Yeah, the previous year. Look at that run defense, man. Look at that pass rush grade. I would spend no less than $5 million and go and get him, because last year was a down year. Last year was a down year for the Vikings. I would go get him, and I would make him my third down rush specialist, and I wouldn't bring AQM back. That's exactly what I would do. But he's only 5'10". That's the problem. That's the big problem. That's too risk. Scratch what the hell I just said, because I wouldn't do that. I'd rather have AQM. Okay, moving forward. Patriots. They brought in Romeo Doubs. Offensive guard, Elijah Vera Tucker. Edge, Draymond Jones. Fullback, Reggie Gilliam. Outside linebacker, Jesse Lucetta. They also retained Tommy DeVito. 2 years up to $7.4 million. New Orleans Saints, they signed offensive guard David Edwards, running back Travis Etienne, linebacker Caden Ellis, punter Ryan Wright, tight end Noah Fant. They also retained defensive tackle John Ridgway. Giants brought in, they signed Isaiah Likely, linebacker Tremaine Edmonds, punter Jordan Stout, cornerback Greg Newsome, safety Ardarius Washington, cornerback Greg Newsome again? What? Greg Newsome 2? Do they seriously have 2 Greg Newsomes? This has got to be a mistake. Is there legit 2 Greg Newsomes playing in the league? And they're related? No, that's got to be a typo. That's got to be a typo. Just one guy. All right, kicker, Jason Sanders, fullback, Patrick Ricard. They retained Illuminor, McFadden, Hodgins, Murphy, Green, Manertz, and Gunnar Olszewski. Man, the Giants are cooking right now. Where did I put them for this year? Because they're going to be one of those worst to first type of teams. Where are they? I got them third in the East. I think they're going to be battling for second. The hell, they may even take first. Who's in that division again? Commanders. And the Eagles. Damn, that is a tough division. All right, Jets. They've been making some hay here in free agency. They brought in Joseph Asai, linebacker Demario Davis, defensive tackle David Ani-Miata. That's a great signing right there. Edge Kingsley Enabare, safety Dane Belton, cornerback Nashawn Wright, fullback Andrew Beck, safety Dane Belton again. So that's another typo. Come on, CBS, get your shit together. They traded for quarterback Geno Smith. That was a good move for them to at least have a veteran presence there. Safety Minkah Fitzpatrick, another big move for them. They also retained Breece Hall, defensive tackle Jawan Briggs, linebacker Marcelino McCrary Ball, and tight end Jelani Woods. You know, earlier today, so sidebar here on the Lions, I was watching that podcast that flew by the other day that I was trying to catch when we were live or whatever I was doing. And it was DJ Reader. And he was on the Up and Adam show. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch it, go find it a couple of days ago. And he was talking about being okay and comfortable going back to Cincinnati. So it sounds like, I mean, he wasn't saying that he wanted to leave the Lions or anything, but it sounds like his heart is not all in Detroit either. Or he knows that he's not coming back to Detroit because of the money situation. So I think DJ Reader's probably gone at this point, but I'm not going to read too far into it. But I'd say odds are he may not be back, which means the Lions are going to have to look for another defensive tackle here in free agency and or the draft. Definitely the draft. Reek Woolens off the board, finally went to the Eagles. Tight end Johnny Munt. They also retained Jordan Davis on that massive deal. Pittsburgh Steelers, they traded for wide receiver Michael Pittman, gave him a bag. Signed Jamel Dean, Rico Dowdle, Cam Johnston. They also retained Asante Samuel, Cole Holcomb, Ezezi Odomeo, and defensive lineman Cam Hayward. What are they doing with Cam Hayward, man? Like that dude is, how old is Cam Hayward now? You just handed the dude 2 years, $32.5 million, and he can't be young. Let's just put it that way. He's got to be on the wrong side of 35. How old is this dude? He's got to be older. He's 36. Bingo. Hit it. He's on the wrong side of 35, man. He's 36 years old. They just gave him a 2-year deal worth $32 million. I'm sure there's not a lot of guarantee in it, but that's still a lot of money, man, for a 36-year-old. 49ers, Mike Evans. He signed a 3-year deal, $60 million, 16.3 guarantee, very low guarantee. Offensive tackle, Vidarian Lowe. They retained Ketty Pinerio and linebacker Garrett Wallow. So far, the 49ers haven't really done a whole lot just because they have like 8,000 draft picks. Seattle Seahawks, they signed nobody, but they did retain Rashid Shaheed on a 3-year, $51 million deal. Cornerback Josh Jobe and linebacker Drake Thomas, running back George Haloni, and safety Ty Okada. So great job by them doing absolutely nothing so far. Tampa Bay, they haven't done much either, but they brought in Kenneth Gainwell. Alex Anzalone went back to Florida. They also retained tight end Cade Otton. Tennessee Titans, they've been busy. They signed Wan'Dale Robinson, defensive tackle John Franklin Myers, cornerback Alante Taylor. Look at the numbers in these deals. 70 mil, 63 mil, 60 mil, 45 mil, 24 mil. As some ducats rolling out. They also signed Cordell Flott, Daniel Bellinger, center Austin Schlottman, offensive guard Cordell Volson, quarterback Mitchell Trubisky. Isn't he 90? Like, what is he still doing in the league? Cornerback Josh Williams, defensive tackle Jordan Elliott. They also retained long snapper Morgan Cox, defensive lineman CJ Ravenel, and guard Garrett Dellinger. Washington have signed edge Odafe Owe. Leo Chanel is finally off the board, and he's done. Tim Settle. I like Tim Settle, man. That could have been a good signing. And cornerback, Amik Robertson, former Lion, getting a decent bag, going down to Washington. They also retained Laramie Tunsil, Marcus Mariota, so there goes my Mariota opportunity. Offensive guard, tackle Andrew Wiley, offensive lineman Nick Allegretti, punter Trace Way, wide receiver Treylon Burks, kicker Jake Moody, defensive end Drake Jackson, defensive tackle Shai Tuttle, and defensive end Deatrick Wise. And that's it. That is your full update for Free Agency Frenzy on a Tuesday. And with that, that's it. I need to go get some sleep and get ready for tomorrow because the Lions are going to go crazy tomorrow. I hope. We need some action. We need some action. We're doing okay, but we need some action. We'll take a quick scan here. See, Logan Hall just went to the Texans. Goodness. Texans are busy. Busy, busy, busy. Oh, okay, so we got more on Maxx Crosby. Okay, so they're saying that they backed out because of medical concerns that arose out of the physical. Not that he failed the physical, but that there was medical concerns that arose out of the physical. Obviously, the trades are contingent upon players passing the physical and aren't final or official until 4 p.m. on Wednesday. Ravens are not responding to any more comment. Neither are the Raiders. Raiders were set to meet Tuesday night to try to figure out their next steps. According to sources, it's unclear whether Crosby trade can be revived in some form. But this puts the Raiders in a difficult situation due to all of the money they already committed to outside free agents, like you heard here first. Yeah, they're up Schitt's Creek. They'll make something happen, but it would be nuts if they had to rip up a deal like that. That would be crazy. All of those free agents right now. Think about this. I don't know if anyone said this yet, but think about this. They signed Tyler Linderbaum for $81 million. They signed Nakobe Dean for $36 million. Quay Walker for 40-ish. Kwity Paye for 48. Eric Stokes for 30. Malcolm Coots for 11. Imagine if you're those guys and you're wondering, are they going to rip up my deal? And you start your agent shopping. Your agent has to be on the phone right now. Either A, trying to calm you down because you're in freak out mode. Show me the money. Right? That's all I can see. Show me the money. I might have to watch that movie tonight. They're probably freaking out, wondering if their deal's going to get ripped up, and so now it's all up in the air for the Raiders. If these free agents who have no reason not to sign with the Raiders right now decide that they feel like they should probably just go somewhere more secure, they haven't signed anything. They don't have to sign with the Raiders. They can go anywhere they want. And now that the terms of the deals have been disclosed, every other team out there knows what they need to offer to get them. And you could probably call that agent and say, hey, do you feel, does your client feel safe? That They got enough money to cover the deal? I know you're getting paid 40. How's 35.5? We'll get you done. Imagine all the games being played right now. I love high stakes negotiations. I need to get back into it. I love that. That's the best part of what I did, man. High stakes negotiations are fun, especially when you're in a leverage situation. I like operating with all the marbles. I know it's not fair, but it's, hey, $15 billion organizations allow you to do that. All right. Let's see. Robbie says, Will, if the Raiders recant on Linderbaum, is there a chance we could go get him still? I don't know. No idea. I mean, they're to be honest, not at $27 million. There's no way. There's no way. 22, 23, sure. I would say that there could be an option. But we already got Cade Mays, man. Like, I think the Lions are comfortable where they are. I think that Brad Holmes is good. I don't think that they're going to have a knee-jerk reaction to any of this. And if anything were to fall through the cracks, I would say that if there's any sort of a situation that Maxx Crosby could be redealt to a different team, and the Raiders are willing to sacrifice a little bit to save some face and get any type of a deal done, and if you could get that done for a first and a second, then I think you're talking turkey. But you still have a big money problem. And honestly, at $27 million or $25 million, I don't want Linderbaum anyway. It's too expensive. Way too expensive. Let's see who's the better center at the end of next year. I mean, Linderbaum is the clear number one center in the league. But let's see who's better next year inside their individual offense and who has the better stats and who has the better season, as long as it stays the way that it's, supposed to be right now. I think that's what we need to look forward to. But anyway, I'm out of here. It's time to get some dinner, get some shut-eye, and see you guys back here tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock on the Rise and Grind Morning Show. Don't forget to like, share, and hype the damn thing, man. Send some hype my way and some comments, and then go to DetroitFootballJournal.com. So many of you have, and I can't thank you enough. So many new subscribers. I'll get you guys upgraded probably by tomorrow. And so go to DetroitFootballJournal.com, put your email in, select the free account. Do not pay unless you really feel like paying. I'm going to give you a free account. I'm going to cover the $50 or $90, whatever it is, for 6 months. We're going to get you a free account because we want to build growth and community here at Rockhound Detroit Lions and DetroitFootballJournal.com. All right, you guys have a good night. Take care. Go in pride. Brad, don't sleep, man. Get your ass to work, dude. This is the second time I'm going to say it today. I'm signing off. You need to go sign in and deliver a ticket, okay? So give it 15, 20 minutes. We'll hear something about the Lions. And if it does happen, y'all better share this stream to 100 places each if it happens again. Because this will be three times in a row that I've said that, and he's done it. So we'll see what happens. All right, you guys, take care. Adios.
Pressured by